I wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Hello, my Astro family. This is your August 2020 horoscope, and things are getting interesting again. The war of the planets is beginning. The big players, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, will hold a difficult square aspect in the sky for almost 2 months, starting from the middle of August. Things will heat up around the world. I expect riots, I expect rebellions, I expect clashes between governments and people, and things might get quite violent. But on the personal level, we're gonna look now how it's going to affect you in the personal level, and I'll give you suggestions and remedies. So don't worry. Personally, everyone usually has higher vibration than collectively, so we can do much better with those challenging aspects. Plus, there is a huge cosmic release of karma in certain area of your life where things are completing and ending. We'll talk about that. The galactic center aligns with the planet of karma, huge things. But before I start, I just wanted to let you know that my first book, my first electronic book, is out. It's about the planetary aspects in the natal horoscopes interpretation. Say if you are born when Jupiter was conjunct the Sun or square Venus or whatever, all those explanations are there. I wrote it with my teacher over. It took us 1 year, so it's now discounted for the first 2 weeks. Whoever orders it, it's very affordable price, so I'm excited. My first ever book. And also we're doing a webinar on August the 13th with Krasi, how to interpret your Babylonian horoscope, how to interpret your natal horoscope according to the ancient method. It's going to be 5-6 hours, very practical. We'll work with personal charts of the people there. We will give we'll read personal lives and examples, so it's gonna be very hands-on. So now let's begin with August 2020. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, August 2020. Let's start with the more difficult energies this month. From around the middle or the third week of August, Mars is going to hold a almost 2 month difficult aspect with the planet Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in your fifth house. Let's see how it might play out on the material level and then on the psychological. Okay, so you have two retrograde planets the whole of August in your fifth house. For some of you, it can mean some romantic partner from the past might come back, to reconnect, to have closure, or even to see if it can work out again. This is a possibility for some Virgos that I've seen already playing out. And if you're already in a relationship, you might be re-examining the romantic side of the relationship and what are your needs there, what is important for you, what are the rules that are important for you, for who you let close to your heart. But at the same time, this area all starts getting activated and agitated by the difficult aspect by Mars there, from Mars there in your fifth house. So it can play out for some of you that you might have lovers fights, spats, and they might even be connected about mutual finances and resources or spending, because Mars is in the financial house, in the eighth house. Or it can just be because of strong opinions that you're having some obstacle you have to overcome in regards to your romantic love life or romantic partner, that they might be going through some tough situation, and it's kind of like this can create tension in some level. And again, as I said, it might continue almost a month and a half. The fifth house is also your children, if you have such. And there can be some heavy responsibilities connected around children, for example, some situation that has to be worked on, has to be resolved, connected to children. And that can feel, and even the children can feel sometimes frustrating and overwhelming because Mars is agitating all those planets in the fifth house. Some power struggles. Mars is in the eighth house of power struggles with loved ones, with relationship, like lovers or children, that can happen because of those two aspects, the tension that's happening. Or it can indicate that some creative projects that you're working on, maybe a creative idea you want to turn into business, or some great idea that you have that you're working hard on to complete, with Saturn and Jupiter and Capricorn, your fifth house, are really helping for, but it it there is a deadline on that creative project and puts pressure on you because of Mars, or because it needs to, over the next 2-3 months even, to be redone in some way, uh, or that it needs to be solved in some, it can require a lot of your energy and patience, let's say, and focus. And another way it can play out is, let's see how Mars in this eighth house might be affected. The eighth house is, because it's getting difficult aspects from planets in your fifth house by Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto. So the eighth house is your finances. It's very much connected to resource, to especially mutual, in a marriage if you're married, or in investments if you invested in stocks or markets, or taxes as well. There can be some battle or some complicated situation starting to form towards the end of August concerning taxes, finances, insurances, inheritances. Maybe buying together something with a partner, and that requires you to maneuver more carefully. It doesn't mean that it will not happen, it doesn't mean it will be a failure. Some, especially some undertaking, some new beginnings. Mars is, initiating new beginnings connected to new resources, new clients resources, new mutual funds together, or some mutual undertaking together with a partner. But there might be some tension and stress when it comes on your partner's resources and finances, or even some arguments and fights that can happen in regards to that, or some tension on your taxes, insurances, inheritances. Again, as I said, especially because of bureaucratic obstacles. Saturn rules bureaucratic matters, government matters, and connected to, or the eighth house is the money of your clients. If you have your own clients, you might have to fight harder for them to find more original, new ways to secure those, or to learn, to reorganize how you receive resources and finances from your clients, for example, and to use your creativity a little bit and to restructure the whole thing. So using your creative ideas, using your imagination, which is the fifth house, your original ideas, to change something in regards to the financial situation in your life. But there is push and pull there. There is tension, as I said, maybe bureaucratic, maybe government blockages you have to overcome as well. And eighth house is connected with sexual intimacy as well. So Mars can really trigger your desire for sexual intimacy. It's Mars is in its own house, there in its own sign. So there might be some passionate sexual entanglement that is happening for some of you, starting from August, maybe towards the end especially, which is putting strain on your love life. Mars receiving square from the fifth house, but it can be very energizing as well. And it's almost like trying to break through your old fears about trusting others, because Mars wants to make holes, to punch, and to make breakthroughs. And eighth house is our fears of opening up, of merging with another, of connecting with another, with letting someone so close that they can penetrate us. That's the house of sex. So Mars there wants to really make some breakthrough there, and to even to push you to take initiative in regards to that. But you can feel like an inner conflict and an inner battle within you that escalates for a month or two. Well, the square is held with the fifth house, because Saturn in the fifth house is like, I need to keep my boundaries so my heart doesn't get broken romantically, and I need to have my rules. And but Mars is in the eighth house is pushing. I want to connect deep. I want to penetrate. I want to merge with you. So you might have to overcome such kind of issues and have to solve them. Plus, both houses are financial houses, so I would advise you, don't take big financial risks from the end of August for 2 months after that. The whole September and part of October, I would say even till November. Just especially when it comes to speculative investments, fifth house is like almost like playing. And eighth house is stock markets, and fifth house is speculative investments. I would advise you not to, if you're playing on the stock market, don't do such big crazy speculations because they can backfire. Situation regarding money with investments, with stock markets can get more complicated. um, if you can get out of such situations before this whole starts, it can save you some nerves. If not, you might have to weather it in some way. And there can be some expenses as well uh, that come to you because of children, when this square starts happening, because of some creative project that you're doing, uh, that you have to be aware of, and that you know that there will be obstacles, hoops to overcome, but they're not impossible. I mean, you just have to be patient. You have to work through the complexity. If you're doing some creative project, for example, or business project, or maybe a website, fifth house is anything you create yourself that is your own original idea, and it's being challenged by Mars connected to a financial house. So possible, combine the both to figure it out in your head. All right, Virgo. On another level, there will be another important astrological events. The galactic center is being triggered by the south node. And the galactic center almost like wants to consume the south node, to burn your old karma. This is the south node. And it is in your fourth house. That's fourth house rules family karma. It's a rare opportunity because it happens once every 19 years only. So the galactic center, in the case for Virgos, might be the ending of burning some family karma, some family ties even. It might be a little bit destructive. The south node and Ketu is known a bit as an aggressive, destructive energy that destroys, so it can create something new, so it can liberate you basically. So they can be the destruction of old ties to a place as well. You might have been tied in karmically to a place that you no longer you'll be free from it now, but it can create, started by crisis. For example, you said you have to relocate, or you have to sell your house, or you have to move to a different place, um, or someone from your family is moving to a different place, and that ends the karma. Look for such signs, what's happening around your family, around your personal life, around home and property and lands and fathers and mothers and extended family. This can mean that the burning of some blockage as well, or some old situation that comes back to the surface again, to be reset, to be the button to be pressed there so it can be unsolved. Or if you have some unresolved anger with family and unresolved issues, especially with the mother, if you're a Virgo, this can be definitely time when the universe is giving you an opportunity, even through some kind of crisis, to be released from that complicated situation or relationship. So with a mother figure in your life, or with a mother, I don't want to make predictions of anything else, because just think of those themes and pay attention to them. All right, and let's see one last thing. Your planet is part of a new moon. You are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is right conjunct the new moon, which is happening around the 18th of August. So maybe a week before and a week or two after, you can be triggered into some new beginning of a sort. And it might be connected to foreign countries, to foreign travel, because it's happening in the 12th house, to some deep research or study of spiritual, psychological, or deep topics of the subconscious, of the the bigger, higher, invisible realities, some new investigation or study, or even some kind of spiritual experience might be there, because the king, the queen align together with you. Your Mercury there in the 12th house of spirituality, of consciousness, some kind of a raising of your consciousness that happens on a deep psychological level. And again, it's 12th house is the karma, just like the south node, the 12th house is karma. There is another theme here of releasing, of a new moon, is to clean the slate and start anew, to release and let go of something, and you'd almost like kind of understand it with your mind why something is outdated for you, and you start this process of leaving it behind and releasing it, and being ready to cleanse it from your life, let's say. You might get interested in reading about letting go of spirituality and reading about the invisible worlds as well. This is another topic. Or on the more mundane level, it can be a new initiative that you personally get involved and interested to learn more about, or to participate in a foreign country with faraway places, with spiritual topics, or some imaginative project. Imaginative, yeah, type of thing. Okay, so that's about it. Yes, and Venus is in your 11th house for maybe 2-3 weeks. It's short period, but wherever Venus goes, it brings you something nice, something pleasant that you can look forward to. And being in the 11th house means the source of more enjoyable situations might be for you some social event, if you can participate, maybe connecting with a friend, starting a friendship of some sort, or just being very enjoying social activities or social activism of some sort as well. All right, so there we go. Thank you so much, and I will see you next month. And you can check out my first book, cookbook of astrology, as they say. I'm very excited about it. Thank you.